Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Danielle Wiley on the line, and she's founder and CEO over at Sway Group. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So excited to get into today's topic. I was telling you in the pre-show, I don't think we've talked about this or covered this in quite some time. So proven effectiveness and engagement through influencer marketing. So influencer marketing, big topic. I'm excited to have you on here to talk about it. But before we get into that, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing over at Sway Group. Tell us a little bit more about your firm, please.
Sure. So we have been around for 9 years this month, actually. And
congratulations. Wait a minute.
You.
I'm not going to let you glance over that. I mean, most businesses don't make it past 5. So, I mean, you're already doubling up. Congrats. You're almost hitting a decade.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a journey for sure. And what started as a small roster of about 25 mom bloggers has grown into a network of 30,000 influencers.
Wow.
On multiple platforms, all sorts of different verticals. We have influencers from the age of 4 to the age of 84, and
wow.
With all sorts of specialties, whether it's parenting, cooking, lifestyle, travel, business, you name it. We've got them.
Absolutely amazing. And I think that's a great transition. So let's get into today's topic. So proven effectiveness, engagement through influencer marketing. Where do you want to start with that one?
That's a lot to talk about. When we first started this 9 years ago, it was really all about the impressions, and we have been very excited to see the industry transition away from that pure reach, although certainly there are always some clients who are going to want that, but really moving more towards those engagement metrics. So not just about an eyeball seeing that piece of sponsored content that our influencers are creating, but more about that actual engagement. So is someone clicking? Are they sharing? Are they saving, commenting, liking? There's so many ways now for people to engage in social media, and from our perspective, that's a much better measure of the success of any given piece of content versus just, did someone see it? We're now really looking at, did they engage? How did they engage? And measuring programs in that way. And it's just been great to see our clients kind of coming on board and the industry transitioning to that as more of a metric of success.
Can you talk, because you're, for this industry, I would argue you're a pioneer. So being in that business for almost 10 years, a lot of people listening right now that are in marketing, they've heard of influencer marketing, but that's been maybe the last 2 to 3, maybe 5 years, but you're going on 10 in that niche. So that's a long time. Can you talk a little bit more about just what you've seen in terms of the overall maturity of influencer marketing and working with brands in general? Because that's a very unique relationship.
Yeah, and I've actually been doing it longer because I founded Sway after leaving Edelman, which huge PR firm, and was doing influencer marketing there since the mid 2000s.
Oh wow! So that's the beginning, really. Before that, we would just call it like endorsements. But you'd have to be like an athlete or something like that. No, but you'd have to be like an athlete, or you'd have to like be leveraging somebody else's. You had some special. Well, wait a minute. I shouldn't say you had some special talent. I don't want to insult anybody. Like, I don't know if me talking on this mic right now is a special talent, but whatever. But that being said, you had to be able to do something like you dunk a basketball. I don't know, whatever. You're a professional athlete.
Right. Or be
with
an
the change from there you go. The change from being an endorsed like sponsor and have sponsors to influence is different, and that's that period.
Yeah, totally. So when I first started doing it, we were really treating and back then it was just bloggers, like the word influencer wasn't a thing. But back when I first started doing it, we were treating influencers like journalists and sending out information or sending out free product like you would do with a magazine writer or a newspaper reporter, and just hoping for a review or coverage. And then the industry, I think rightly so, shifted, and this realization kind of came into being that influencers really are more like spokespeople, and that which is kind of what you're talking about, and treating them more like a paid spokesperson made more sense in most cases than treating them like a journalist. And so in doing these programs, once money came into the equation and we started engaging in contracts with the influencers, that's really where Sway Group came about, actually, because it became incredibly complicated, just with doing all those contracts, finding the right people, engaging, measuring, all of that. So that's where Sway Group came about, because I was like, this is really messy and no one's doing a really good job of it. And I see that there's space to have this company in the middle that you can just call up and say, hey, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Can you make it happen? It was just on their own, or even, me coming from a PR firm, I didn't have the size team necessary to be spending all these hours putting these programs together.
No, it makes so much sense. And it's complicated, but can you talk about like some of the benefits of going down that route? Because I've seen small brands, small products do very well over time with the right, influencer, the right niche, everything varies, right? And it has to be a great product, right? Or else the influencer's not going to put their name behind it, or they're not going to. But when the stars align and people get it right, some really magical things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And we put a lot of, we talk all the time about how great our engagement rates are at Sway. And I think it's because we put a lot of time into, yes, the product has to be great, but you also have to have that right match with the right influencer. So is there already a relationship there? Is there a passion for this product or service? Is this the right person to be sharing this message? Is their audience the right audience to be receiving the message? There's a lot of pieces and parts that go into it to make it work and to make it successful.
So what are the right, so a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs listening right now, various size companies, a lot of decision makers, a lot of people that do the marketing listening right now. What are the right types of companies to really work with Sway Group? Like, what are the right type of niches and companies that you like to work with?
We work
I mean on both sides, by the way, the influencer side and on the other side. So they're looking for influencers, so the businesses.
Yeah. So from an influencer perspective, like I said, we have 30,000, and they really run the gamut. About 85% of our influencers identify as female, but we're not specific to that. We work with a lot of CPG products and with a lot of other brands who have a target demographic of women. So it is a specialty of ours, but we're not exclusively marketing to women. And then in terms of brands, again, it really runs the gamut. We do pharmaceutical, we do diapers, tampons, rice. Really anything that people are consuming, using, need, anything that you can tell a great story about. And we love kind of we have like a special place in our hearts, I would say, for the
I love it. I want the special place. I like where you're going with it. I'm like, wait, tell me, Danielle, what's the special place? I want to be there.
We just get kind of a kick out of putting together a really successful program for a brand or product that it doesn't seem obvious that people would want to talk about this and engage about it. So like a good example of this is incontinence pads, right? Certain women of a certain age, especially those who have had kids, might have light bladder leakage. It's not a sexy thing to talk about, but it's kind of ubiquitous. And we do a really good job with those programs, and the content is real and it's often funny, and it is it's authentic, and we just we get a kick out of it. It's nice to have a client come to us and say, like, we're not sure if anyone would write about this. We're not sure if anyone would want to read it, and to be able to kind of take that inbound and turn it into something that actually is successful is great.
That's amazing. And the thing is when you really think about the point of this, and sometimes I talk to people about, like, because you get into products, you get into other things, but you're like, if you weren't able to do that, if you weren't able to match that company with that influencer or that group of influencers or the people that are doing, I mean, the people that are buying these products need it. I mean, you're helping them. You're changing their lives in some cases, depending on the type of product and what they're doing, but you're helping them with their issues. And that's the whole point of doing this, is you're providing value. And for the influencer, they're happy to provide value and to share that with their audience when it makes sense. And to me, it's the ultimate, like, win-win-win is what it comes down to. The consumer wins, the marketer wins, Sway Group wins. I mean, everybody really wins in that case. And then the people that ultimately buy it obviously win because they benefit from the product, but they also don't feel like they're being sold to. So they're choosing to buy, and they're choosing to engage with that, and they don't feel like they're having it, you know what I mean? They're just being brainwashed with it by, 1,000 commercials all day long that are just kind of chasing them everywhere, right? So it's a more authentic connection to the brand too, which, by the way, I have nothing against cookies or anything. If this is a marketing podcast, everyone's like, what are you talking about, Adam? We don't chase people. Okay, whatever, I don't care. but that being said, this is an influencer episode, so leave us alone. So yeah. that being said, Danielle, if somebody is listening to this right now and they're either on the influencer side or they're on the business side and they want to learn more about Sway Group, what's the best way for them to reach out and to connect with your team?
I mean, our website is swaygroup.com, and we are also super active on Twitter at Sway Group, but you can find us either one of those places.
Fantastic. Well, Danielle, it's been great having you on the show today. Really appreciate you coming on and giving us more of your background and what's going on in the influencer marketing landscape. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the comment section. I mean, love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Danielle, thanks again for coming on the show.